Alright, so what is up, guys? My name's Wardog'3, and I know I said I had a story planned for you guys today, but I decided let's wait for that for another day because I've got a project I'm working on in the background, and yes, it does pertain to Ace Combat Infinity, of course, but I figured why don't I let you guys in on one of my best kept secrets? And as you could probably tell by the title, it's going to be the setup, Wardog'S setup, of how he tunes his F-4E into a freaking monster. So let's get started here. Let's go into the hangar, into our aircraft sets, and you will see my flying brick setup. And take a look at that. Look at the stats on that sucker. Now, the first thing I recommend for you guys, if you want to have a really good F-4E like I do, is at least have it level 15 or higher. As you can see, mine is level 17, soon to be level 20 once I gather enough research and credits to get it up to that level. But yeah, I recommend level 15 or higher. Mine's level 17, which has been working out for me pretty good. So let's go ahead and show you guys the set. So of course you're going to want to have the F-4E Phantom 2 and not the F-4G Wild Weasel. Now as you can see, all the red, it goes way down because it's level 10, which is pretty good, but you know, it's not as high. It's not even close to the level of my F-4E. But you want to use the F-4E Phantom 2 rather than the Wild Weasel because the Weasel is a specialized aircraft. And when you have a specialized aircraft, as you guys know, you get worse homing and damage capabilities when you lock onto a fighter aircraft if you're in an attacker, which is the case with the F-4G. And also, it has a lot less part slots, you know. 11, 13, and 12 compared to, say, something like 26 all around that my F-4E has. So, always use the F-4E Phantom 2. That's what I recommend. The vanilla version, of course. I don't recommend the 20th anniversary because it's missing unguided bombs. But, yeah, so select this aircraft. No, we don't want to do that. So, let's get into the most important thing, which are the parts that I put on this bad boy to make this the ultimate death machine. So, as you can see, I like to start out with high-spec main wing actuator pitch L, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, my objective on my class setup is to turn the F4 into the most versatile plane you will ever see. They can switch from air to air and air to ground in a matter of seconds. They can do both really well. That's my idea of my class setup. That's how I managed to get a ton of MVPs and high scores in my F4E. It's because I specialize it to make it a true multi-role, truly versatile. So I start off with a high-spec main wing actuator, and as you can see by that red bar, look at how much that increases this thing. Look at that. A nice big chunk of increased mobility, which is important for dogfighting, especially on a plane, a flying brick, or a flying tank like the F4 that's huge, thrust-over aerodynamics, as they call it. But I also like to put on the other part, not just the pitch part, but the roll L as well, which provides the same bonus, except it adds it to the roll ability, helping you maneuver easier in dogfights as well. This is how I'm able to, well, it's one of the reasons I'm able to do air-to-air so well in the F-4E is because of these two parts. So those take up about 9 parts a piece, so you're left, if you have 26 like me, you're left with not too many. So I decided to fill in the gap with, and this might be a shocker to you guys, but I use the new stealth coating L. And look at this, it increases your air-to-air, air-to-ground, and your defense a lot. But that's not the point here. The point is that it reduces your radar detection on the AI. Now, I don't know if there's exact tests that show if this actually works or not. But what I found is that in my mind, it works pretty well. A lot of the missile locks that I normally get are completely taken away by the stealth coating L. You want to have the biggest one possible. And that just leaves one part slot left, so that's pretty good in my book, taking up as many as you can. So that basically helps with all the air-to-air and somewhat air-to-ground with the stealth coating, helping you attack ground targets without getting so many missile locks. Of course, you're still going to get a lot of missile locks if you fly in front of their faces, which I do sometimes, but all these parts help out, mostly in the dogfighting role, because the F4 is pretty good at air-to-ground, you'll realize, even as a multi-role from the beginning when you get it. So let's move on to the arms, which I have maxed out here. The first part you're going to use is the Advanced Warheads L, which just significantly increases the power of your standard missiles. This is great for both air-to-air, air-to-ground. It's how I managed to one-shot all oranges and be able to two-shot all reds and two-shot most of the emergency fighters. It's really good, especially on a multi-roll, which doesn't get any damage bonuses. You always want to have Warheads Missile L on this F-4E Wardog 3 class setup. And then, keeping up with the missile upgrade, you're also going to throw on Advanced Mobile Fin L, which is obviously for dogfighting. To make this plane so good at dogfighting, be able to switch to it as soon as you're done with air-to-ground, you're going to want to have great homing capabilities as well. To get those tough shots from the tough angles that those red targets always create. And that takes up a decent amount of part slots as well. But, you know, it's all worth it. You guys have seen what this class setup can actually do. And then the last part on the arms is going to be the higher range, unguided bomb range area dispersion effect, or the unguided bomb. I know I guys didn't show you guys the special weapon, but as you can see, you want to use unguided bombs on the F-4E. Always use the good old iron hammer, because it's very powerful. Preferably level 3 or higher, mine are level 4. I've had them able to be going up to level 5, but, you know, the upgrades on this plane are ridiculously expensive, so I haven't quite done it yet. But you always want to have that good unguided bomb dispersion part, range increase, to help you get the bigger area on the target you want to affect. Obviously, unguided bombs were nerfed a ton. They're still okay. They're decent. Obviously, not as good as they used to. But the unguided bomb explosives and the enhanced will it'll definitely help out with that range and getting a lot of targets destroyed. Well, not quite as effective as it used to be. It'll still get the jobs done. The main problem with this is that your unguided bomb damage is pretty low, so you're going to need to be spraying. But you can take out a whole cluster of yellows, no problem, with using this part and using the unguided bomb. So that's about 6 parts. The final part for this class setup is, you guys may or may not see this coming, but the good old anti-stealth high-power radar to make sure that you can always see those pesky F-22s, YF-23s, F-35s on your radar all times, so no one's sneaking up on you, and you can find them easier and destroy them with your supercharged missiles. So those are the parts. Those are the most important things that I do to make this plane really good in my class setup, in my how I managed to get such high scores. But we're not done quite yet. Like I said, always use unguided bomb. If you're going air-to-air, then use HPAA and swap out the unguided bomb range for better propulsion. But I generally like to specialize in the versatility. Being the most versatile allows you to attack any target without any significant disadvantages, which yields you the most points, and therefore the MVP most of the matches. The data link, I like to use critical. I've always used critical since day one. It's what I found most useful. More damage is always better, so that's my thing. And of course, we have the skins, which, you know, doesn't really matter what skin. You can use the Inferno, you can use the new Ace Combat skin, or you can use the good old, you know, greeny default. I personally, if you've been playing this game for that long, the good old Vietnam skin is always my favorite, with the Vietnam Vet nickname when you reach level 15. And then the emblem, I like to stick with Wardog because that looks the best. But yeah, guys, as you can see, with this class setup, your stats are extremely potent. Nearly an S+ in every single category except stability. But, you know, as long as you're being careful, you're not really going to be stalling. So this plane is just an absolute monster destroyer. And what I recommend, in order to get high scores like I do with this Wardog 3 class setup, this F4 of mine, is just go after any target you see, because I've specialized this plane so that it can attack any target you want without having any significant disadvantages. And look at that, you get 24 unguided bombs if you're at level 17, so you've got plenty of missiles to dispose of air and plenty of unguided bombs to dispose of the ground. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class setup. Let me know how you think of it. Put it to work, and I'm Wardog3 signing out. I'll see you guys on the next video.